If you're at the door, you can sign in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and we want to go ahead and get started because it's about 1:15. First of all, thank you so much to everyone who's here. We expect some more people to kind of be trickling in. I want to say a quick thank you to Downtown Presbyterian Church for letting us use this space for National Food Project, providing food. So if you haven't gotten food, please feel free to come up and get firsts or seconds or whatever. I want to say thank you to Nashville Housing Rights Campaign who helped put this meeting together. They're working on tenants issues, and I also want to say thank you to Nashville Advocates for the Unhoused, who's here, and it's been so wonderful. There are so many people in this room today because of how bad conditions are on our streets. Our friend Jimmy died January 3rd from exposure. Our 10-year plan that the city came up with in 2005 is 8 years in and barely functioning. We're here because there's a lot of work to be done and one group can't do it by themselves. I want to tell a quick story to kind of get us oriented to what this group is here to do. Imagine that you're in a village and one day you and a few friends sets out and you go through the woods and you come across a river. In that river, you're very disturbed by what you see because all of a sudden you see a baby floating down the river and you freak out because babies aren't supposed to be in the river, right? So you freak out and your friends say, get in, get the baby. So you jump in and you try to have a chain and you get the first baby out. And then you realize before you even finish that there's another baby coming downstream. And then you see another and another. So you try to organize a chain, but eventually you realize somebody's got to go back to the village and get more people. So one of your friends runs back to the village and gets more people, and 5 more people come and they set up an orphanage for the babies. Well, eventually you realize we've got to go upstream and figure out why all the babies are coming down the river in the first place. Why the hell are babies floating down the river? So you send a delegation upstream. We need people pulling other people out of the river. That's what our social services do in Nashville. That's what Room in the Inn does. That's what other groups like Park Center and Open Table and others do. That is so crucial. But we also need people who are going upstream and trying to figure out why so many people are floating down the river in the first place and getting into this cycle that they can't get out of. So this group, we're calling right now at this point a coalition of homeless advocates. We are the group that wants to go upriver and say, why has federal funding for housing been cut since the 1980s, yet we have more people that need it than ever before? Why is all of this happening? Why are people dying on the streets systemically? There are structural issues that keep poor people poor and in poverty, and that's what we want to be looking at. There are laws, ordinances, housing policies, and funding priorities that keep people who are unhoused, unhoused. So we're going to be coming together to start looking at some of those things and to do something about it. Also, I want to say before I turn this over, community organizers have held for a really long time that there are 2 sources of power for social change. The first one is organized money. You can change a lot of things if you organize money. The second thing is organized people. We don't have organized money. Most of us in this room have never seen good bits of organized money. Some of us have, but many of us haven't. If we don't have that, we've got to organize ourselves. And that's another thing we're here to do. Some of our goals for this meeting are to create a network, a coalition that's actually connected across groups to do this work together of going upstream. We also want to come up with some concrete actions moving forward, and we also want to empower each other and channel our energy. We're all here because there's energy around this. People are dying, things are bad, but we need to target that and channel it. If it just stays like hot anger, it bounces around everywhere and it's never targeted. So we're here to channel and target that. I'm going to turn it over to Wendell and then Madge now.
Bear with me, guys. I'm not the orator she is. Thank everyone for coming. I hope this works out good. We've got a lot of things we want to do. I want to speak briefly about something I like to see happen. There's so many different groups and organizations, outreach workers that help the homeless, but nobody communicates. There's no line of communication between everybody. I think there's power in numbers, and like the homeless march, we had 70 people come, which was good. It was a good turnout, but If we had a line of communication open between everybody, all groups that work with the homeless, we could have got more there. 200, 500 could have been better. So what I'd like to see, I'm going to make mine brief, but I'd like to see a line of communication open between all groups that work together with the homeless, so we can get more power, more action done. We're going to do a lot of action. We're going to have a lot of things going on, and if we can get numbers together, I think we can do more. That's brief.
And I'm going to be shorter. My name is Madge. I'm a homeless advocate. I sit on the board for the Open Table, and I am with the Living Room. Every Wednesday at 1 o'clock down the hall is a support group. And I'm a person, I like action. And you know, like you think all of these meetings and meetings, but I know that it takes meetings to meet so we can come up with a plan. I'm glad everybody's here. I thank you for that. But we have to come together, commit, meet, so we can get this strategic plan and we get positive results. That's it.